everyone, welcome to Becky's Crafts and Goodies. Today we're going to decorate this teacup and saucer. Now this came from Home Bargains and it was £2.99 and I just thought it was absolutely beautiful. I love the colours, I love the design, how the cup sort of bends in and goes round. But you could really use any cup and saucer that you could find. This would be really fantastic with vintage teacups as well, and you can find those on Facebook Marketplace, eBay, maybe you've even got some at the loft that you'd forgotten about. So we'll start now and we'll decorate this and make it all nice and pretty. So we're going to start and decorate the teacup now. Now you've probably seen my floating teacup tutorial, and with that you actually suspend the teacup up like that, and then things, items, flowers or whatever kind of fall out so it looks like they're flowing out of the cup. If you haven't caught that tutorial, I will actually put the link for it in the description down below so you can check that out if you want to. With this one, we're not actually going to suspend the teacup. We're going to leave it down like that so it looks like bits are sort of flowing out of the top like it's overflowing. So what we're going to do to start with is to put some tissue paper in the bottom, and this is just to give us a little bit of height. So I've scrunched up a bit of tissue paper in there, and make sure it's not too brightly coloured so you can't see it through anything else you put on top. Then what we're going to start and do is to stick on some bits of ribbon, lace, that sort of thing. Now I've got these beads. You can buy these from, I think even Poundland have these in sometimes in the wedding section, so have a look. But lots of different craft shops sell them. I know the Llandudno craft shop sells them too, so you can get them from there. So what we'll do to start with is we'll start and put these little bits of lace on, and that's all it is. It's just like a stretchy little bit here, and we're going to do them, we're going to stick them so they stick inside the cup. Now I've got my hot glue gun, and sometimes that isn't strong enough to stick metal and things to or bits and pieces to cups and china. So what I've got is I've got this cement. This is the hypo cement, and that is good for jewellery making and things like that. So I'll be using that as well to stick the beads on. So I just think it helps just to kind of glue them in place. So I'm just going to snip a little bit extra off that and pop that on as well. This should stick fine without this glue, but what I am going to do is I am going to put a little dab of that inside, and then some hot glue as well, just to sort of help it kind of stick along the way. So I'll get my ribbon and just move it a bit so you can see it, and I'm just going to poke that in there, and this is how we're going to build it up. But just make sure that the ribbon goes inside enough so you can't see it. And I'm just going to cut another couple of extra bits of that off and do just the same thing. So put some of the glue inside, and then I'm going to put a dab of the hot glue as well, just as like an extra little bit. Pop that in there, and these little bits and pieces in there that you can see, they won't matter at all. Now, depending if you're going to do it so you can see it from all angles, you'll need to put some around the back. So I'll do that as well. I'm just going to get another glue stick ready because I think this one will be running out very, very shortly. And again, you can put all sorts of lace and ribbon on it. You don't have to use exactly the same that I'm using. Right, then we are going to put some of these beads on. These come in a big long string, and we'll glue these on in the same way. We'll use a good splodge of this cement glue, and then also some hot glue. Just poke that in there. And what we're going to do for this is we're going to let it sort of drape and come down, and we're going to go up back in the cup. So for the bit that goes in, we'll stick that on just to keep that where it wants to naturally sit. I might hold something on there for a minute just to keep that in place, just to give the hot glue the chance to set. And that's why we put the hot glue on as well, because hot glue sticks quite quickly. And some of the other glue takes a little bit of time to set. So that's why I'm doubling it and using 2 different sorts. But I'm just going to hold that on there for a minute just to keep that in place. And I'll go round with the rest. And I'll end up just kind of sticking it about where we started, really. Put a bit more glue on. Bit of the jewellery cement as well. And stick that on there and just hold that for a minute. And I'm going to move this bead box out of the way because there's a little bit of a glare. We don't want that. Okay, so that's that part. Now what we're going to do is to pop on one of the leaves. Now the bouquet of flowers that I'm using is this one, and this came from Home Bargains. So the teacup and the flowers came from Home Bargains. And what I did was pull one of the heads off one of these flowers and just take out some of these leaves as well, because I want to put some sort of greenery and stuff in there as well. So what I need to do is to poke this a bit further down, because we don't want too much. In fact, I might cut a little bit off, because we don't want loads showing. And I'm going to get my glue gun and stick this on the side. Right, so I'm going to put this down the left side and just stick that to the side of the cup like that. Now this flower is then going to go on the top here, and if you can see that the flower's quite large and I want it to cover the whole surface of the teacup. So with this, I'm just going to get my hot glue and I'm just going to go around the edge of the petals and give it a good splodge of the glue, and then we're going to stick that just directly onto the top of the teacup itself, but put plenty on, and then very carefully turn it over. And where you stick it, you have to make sure that your whole teacup is covered, because you don't want to see inside. And then just hold it down for a second just to get it to stick. And if you've got any bits that you can see through, what I would recommend doing is either using your cement glue or using hot glue, or you could probably also, you might be able to use super glue if you're careful, and just get it and hold it down, because you don't want to see any part of the cup, you know, inside the cup, if you see what I mean. So just hold it down, and then that will stick into that section. Right, so that's all stuck down. I've also decided to stick down the teacup. That'd be a really good idea. Do that before you start doing all the other bits and pieces, because that just keeps it more secure. Incidentally, if you want to know how to make these bracelets, I've got a tutorial on these as well, and I'll put the link in the description. So there's some really nice pretty bead bracelets that you can make too. So now what we're going to do is to decorate down the bottom part here, and I'm going to use some of the Wild Orchid Craft flowers. Now I get asked all the time where I get the flowers from, and I will put the link for those in the description, but lots of places do sell paper flowers, but these are the Wild Orchid Craft ones. And what we're going to do is to put those along the bottom. So for that I'm going to use my glue gun again. You don't have to stick these in place, but I think that it will kind of just help to keep it all a little bit more secure. So I've got 3 different shades of pink here if I need to use them, and I'm just going to stick them around the bottom of the teacup, and then we're going to decorate with some beads as well. It just kind of brings and ties all the colours in, you know, in together. So I'm just sticking those around like that. Just hold them on for a sec. Again, if you want to put the other cement on, you can do that, the hypo cement. just going to use the hot glue on this instance. So I'll just finish sticking the rest of the flowers round and then we'll do the beads. There we go. So I've put the roses all the way around the bottom. So whatever way you look at it, you can see them all the way around. And now what we're going to do is to pop some beads on the bottom. Now I've looked through my bead tray and I've found these really cool beads. And I think I bought these from the Llandudno craft shop a few years ago. I don't know if they've got them now, but that's where I bought them from. And I just thought they would look so cute, sort of dotted, kind of in between at the bottom. So I'm going to stick them on with some hot glue and just put them so they just look like they're kind of falling just periodically sort of through the teacup. So just stick those on and put those in, but you can use anything for these, you know, you don't have to have the same, you know, type of beads. I've got some like rhinestone things, you could use those, they would look really pretty, and just sort of adapt it to what you've got. You know, don't feel you've got to do exactly the same, but it's just giving you ideas really, and you know, things that you could do. And these would make fantastic wedding table decorations too. So if you've got a wedding that's coming up, they would be fantastic. You could use them for christenings as well. They would be really nice for those. Also, I know lots of people do, when you've got like a birthday for an older lady and you don't know what to buy her, I know lots of people do sort of tea parties, and these would be fantastic to do as a gift, or if you was doing a tea party you could make a few and just put them on the table. That would look really, really sweet. And if you do it so you can see the same all the way around, it won't matter if they're, you know, a middle table decoration, because you know, you can see all the way around, so it won't matter. So let me just move those out the way. And just to finish it off, I'm just going to put a ribbon. I've just got some organza ribbon here. I've just tied it into a bow, just as you would do, you know, a normal shoelace. I'm just going to do the edges here so it doesn't fray. And then we're just going to stick that to the handle. But you could use any colour scheme. So you could do it so it fits in with, you know, with your scheme that you're doing. You could also use, if you don't want to use flowers, you could use buttons. You know, you could use loads of different stuff. So you're only limited by your imagination really. And I know I've done this quite florally, and that's not everyone's cup of tea, but you can change it just so it doesn't look quite as floral. But I think these for weddings on wedding tables will look absolutely gorgeous. You've got like a nice keepsake there for your day as well. So there we go, that's the ribbon on there. And there we go, so that's it finished. So it just goes to show you can pick things up from local shops and you can just change them and add some bits to them and make them into really nice special gifts. And that's it from me. That's me done. So I've enjoyed doing this. I'm going to keep this and pop this in my house. That would look really nice on a Welsh dresser, wouldn't it? That'd look pretty cool. So if you haven't already subscribed to me, then do please consider subscribing, and you can also hit the notification bell as well if you want to not miss any videos. And that's about it from me. So you take care of yourself, and I will see you again soon. Take care. Bye for now.